Okay, good morning. It is a Sunday morning at 6:33. I just found us a Beach Baron G58 in Ogden. I found us a stack flight. We're quite heavy, 832 pounds going to Ogden, just right across the Great Salt Lake. About 38 nautical miles. Shouldn't be too bad, but we're gonna have to really watch our weights here. So I've already got them on the plane. Let's go to the hangar, and I'm gonna drop our fuel down. We're gonna remove fuel, so I'm not putting on, I'm removing it. We're still gonna be a little heavy, so. Okay. Let's go ahead into Flight Sim and get that going. So here it is, just a quick little 50 nautical mile. I've already got the plane loaded, and we're overweight at 50% fuel, so I'm probably down around here, so that puts us under our weight limits, so we should be good. Let's go ahead and fly this. We'll just do it VFR. It's a short flight, so skyline of Chicago, Illinois. Yeah, like I say, we'll just do a VFR. Quick little flight. If there's clouds, we'll stay under it and stay out of airspace of Salt Lake City. And you get to kind of see what it's like flying at night. Here's our airport at night. White lights are the runway, the blue lights are the taxiways. Yeah, visibility 12.46 miles, 6:35 in the morning. It's actually, graphics are fantastic for early morning. The sun comes up. When you first get in your plane, you have like a little headlamp on you. So the first thing you want to do is definitely turn your lights on, because once you flip a switch. So we'll turn that floodlight up. Okay. Now, let's connect with NeoFly. Oh, now it reset my weights for some reason. Probably when I showed you what we were doing, it messed it up. Oh yeah, it took everything out I had set up. So I need 208 pounds per section.
Transporter from dispatch. I see you ask for a cargo mission. The ground crew is waiting you on the parking to load the crates. Transporter form dispatch. Loading cargo. Please stand by.
Okay, while they do that, let's go ahead and see how it just goes completely dark. And I've never flown this plane in the nighttime. So let's make sure we have all our lights up as high as we can. Doesn't give us a lot of light, so feels good.
Transporter, cargo is loaded. You can start your mission.
Okay, fuel pump. Maybe I'll use my switches out here, so we'll turn our beacon on. I turn my nav lights on. Go full rich. Prop. Magnetos. Adjust our altimeter. Bring up our nav. Shut my fuel pump off. go ahead and turn all my lights on. Pitot heat's on. Bring that screen up. See, we're quite low on fuel. We're just above the yellow arc to stay within our okay, alright, the engine's warming up. Let's go ahead and get our weather.
Kilo Tango Victor Yankee automated weather observation 1300 Zulu. Wind 179er at 14. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature -7 C dew point. 10 C altimeter 3053. Kilo Tango.
Okay. Winds are going to be right at 17, so we'll take
Kilo
off.
Tango Victor Yankee, traffic Sierra Kilo Echo Echo Tango Echo Romeo is taxiing to runway 17.
Okay. Runway 17 it is. Okay. Well, this will be our last flight in the Cessna 182. We're going to be buying us the Beach Baron twin engine G58 when we get to Ogden. I'll have to do a test flight to be qualified to fly that. And then we're going to upgrade to a pretty nice twin engine plane. We can haul a little bit more than this plane, but the range is, I can top off fuel tanks and fly like 1,400 miles. And we stay right around the 170 to 185 ground speed at a normal cruise, and if you get a nice tailwind, we could be right up there to the 200, so we can make some time. I had to do a lot of searching for an airport that actually had one. And then when I did find one, there's two sitting there for sale, so. Okay, so I'm just taxiing down here. We got clear skies, the sun's coming up. We're gonna be heading into a north, so we need to be at an odd. Oh. So let's do 7,500 feet. And I don't know if you noticed, but the last time we flew IFR, and you noticed I didn't have the 500 foot. I was like 10,000, 8,000. So when you fly IFR, you don't have the 500 foot. When you fly VFR, you have 500 foot. So that gives us 500 foot separation between VFR and IFR flights. So whenever you fly VFR, it's the same rule, north, east, south. You fly and whoop. Them brakes are touchy. You fly the odd numbers plus 500. If you're IFR, you just, wow, this plane is heavy. It's not liking it. This will be interesting when we go to take off. So yeah, you just add 500 VFR, even numbers when you're on this west side of your compass, just like the regular numbers. So okay, let me do my run up, quit talking, and get my plane ready to fly. I'm still fighting this cold. I'm still on cold medicine, so I sound horrible. I can't talk. I slur my words, and I don't know why. I'm feeling so cruddy for so long. I had to take a COVID test. I don't have COVID, so that's all that counts. Okay, there's my run up. 1 notch of flaps. All my lights are on. Pitot heat's on. Altimeter's set. Okay, there we go. Gonna hit my... Can't see my knobs in the nighttime. I wish they'd leave that. Okay, there's my heading bug for my autopilot. Should have a pretty close nose wind right in the nose, so... Speed's active. 40. 50. 60, rotate.
Transporter, good flight.
Flap up. Nice smooth air this morning. That was nice. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and activate my autopilot. Heading. And we're gonna climb out. Let's do... We'll just maintain our 105, 110. Oh, I forgot to announce I was taking off, so... Nobody's around. Don't tell nobody. Now we need to go down this list. I wish you could just plug into whichever one. I could turn my radio... Oh, there it is right there. Okay, so we have that. Let me go ahead and turn. There's Tooele right out our left window there. Okay, I'm not going to follow our magenta line this time because that's going to take us pretty close to the Salt Lake International, so I'm going to kind of head out over the lake, stay out of their airspace. I mean, we could, but we'd have to call and get permission. And you can see on my left or my right monitor where the airspace is. So this blue line right here, if we just stay out of that, I mean, we could call them up, I guess. And then just fly right over there. Guess we could do that to give you an idea of what somebody has to do to fly into airspace around airports. So all we need to do that is I'll get back out of here, go to Salt Lake, tune to tower. Oh, it's not giving us the... Imagine that. Okay, we're at our 7,500 feet.
Salt Lake Airport information, Sierra 1300 Zulu. Wind 159 at 12. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature -8. Dew point 10. Altimeter 30.54. ILS runway 16 left, ILS runway 16 right, ILS runway 17 in use. Landing and departing runway 16 left, runway 16 right, and runway 17.
We can get a request to go through Class D airspace in Ogden, but we can't get it to go through Salt Lake, so that's real convenient. That's what I was trying to get, so you could just request. Let's go ahead and just request full.
Ogden Tower Sierra Kilo Echo Echo Tango Echo Romeo is tree 9 miles southwest 7,500 feet with golf to land.
Sierra Kilo Echo Echo Tango Echo Romeo Ogden Tower. Altimeter tree 0.54 wind 159 red 12. Enter right downwind runway 21.
Okay,
Enter right
runway
traffic
21.
runway 21 Tango Echo Romeo.
Okay, I'm just gonna skirt right along the edge of this, and we can go down to the minimums. I mean, we can drop and go below the airspace, but when you 7,500 feet really is not. When you fly over water, you kind of like to be as high as you can so you could glide to land if you ever have engine. But 7,500 feet going across the Great Salt Lake, we have no. We'll go in the water if we have an engine failure. So let's see what Ogden has for runway 21. Excuse me. Okay, there's no procedures for runway 21. They only have procedures for 03. So, okay. We'll just do a straight in. Enter right traffic, runway 21. And the airport elevation is 4472, so about 6,500 feet will be our pattern altitude. Excuse me. Slow my prop down a little bit. We'll slow down a little bit. We'll do our 2250. Never did learn if that was our best settings or not for cruise, but I know what to do on the new plane, so. Put the graphics on this. You can see how the sky goes dark to purple to light. Hopefully the sun come. My cat just jumped up on my lap. Hi, buddy. Whoop, that's him hitting the yoke. He's gonna crash us. Get in your seat, bud. He's my co-pilot today. Even when the sun comes up over the horizon, it kind of ripples like it does with the atmosphere. It's kind of cool. I think they did a very good job with the graphics. Let's just do a little 360 now that we get a little twilight going on. You can see how the night sky to the west. Stars are out. That's I-80. The lights that go off into the distance, that's I-80. There's Tooele. There's the airport we just took off from. There's a little sliver of the moon. So a beautiful morning in the air. Let's go get our new plane. I'm gonna drop to powdered altitude. We're just gonna drop like 300 feet a minute, get to our pattern altitude. What I'm doing is I'm looking at my sectional to see what our restrictions on our airspace is around Salt Lake. We can actually go in if we're below 7,800 feet. We're good on the outer ring. So at 6,500 feet, we can pretty much go direct. Yeah, because we got to be on the other side of this island. This is Antelope Island off to our right-hand side. So about right here, we're restricted. $6,500 feet, 12,000 feet to 6,500 feet. Out here, we're restricted to 78 to 12,000. And then once you get on the other side of this, then you're restricted from 12,000 to surface. So if we stay on this side of the island, and we're at 6,500 feet, we're not in their airspace. So let's just go turn into our line. We can pick up our heading as long as we stay on this side of that island. We're fine for air restrictions. Yep. I think if we even zoom in this is when this gets pretty loud, so if I was dealing with Salt Lake and their airspace, I would go ahead and shut that terrain off and probably bring this up, because then you can see your airspace. All these lines here are restricted airspace. So we've already contacted Ogden. Hill Air Force Base will be in their airspace too, and we'll just skirt along Salt Lake. So we're below their airspace, and Ogden should keep us out of Hill. We don't gotta contact everybody, so. So yeah, here's your different airspaces. So this line right here, we're 12 to 78. This line here, you drop down to 68. And in this circle, this square here, it's all the way to the surface. So you can't enter this square at all without being in contact with Salt Lake City International. But if we're below 7,800 feet, they probably see us on radar, but you just stay out of their airspace. You don't need to contact them. But if we were to be up in that 7,800 to 12,000 feet, you will definitely be talking to. Maybe that's why Microsoft didn't give me the option because we were already in their airspace and we were already low, so it would be nice to, if I wanted to climb out. Sometimes in these small planes it's just easier to stay the hell away from big airports like this. Go the 30-40 mile around just to make your life less complicated and stressful. Because if you don't do it a lot, it is kind of stressful to fly in airspace around a busy airport, because there's a lot going on, and if you're in a small plane, you're a slowpoke and pretty much in the way all the time. When I was in flight school, Salt Lake City was you gotta fly to a big airport in flight school, and Salt Lake City was mine, and I flew in there in a little Cessna 152, and you start talking to control clear up in Brigham City, and I know when you announce that you're a student pilot and what you're flying, and I know they just want to jump out the window when you say you want to land at Salt Lake in a Cessna 152, because they're like, oh god. So they keep you. I did circles around the lagoon. They just told me to do a standard 360, and they just waited for a spot to sneak me in there so I wasn't in everybody's way. Then once I finally got going in there, my instructor just told me keep it wide open until you almost touched the runway, and okay, I'm gonna turn towards the airport. So there wasn't no 3 flap landing, it was wide open till you got over the runway and brought her back and bled off your airspeed, landed, and got out of the way. I remember looking over at the airlines, all holding short of their runway to take off, which I was holding up for them, and I was still way above the runway, and I was looking into their windows. So that's just kind of gives you you felt pretty tiny in their world, and it's a very stressful day when you're a student and you have to fly in that. I mean, Pocatello had restricted airspace, but it wasn't busy at all. But boy, Salt Lake, pretty intimidating. Well, we made it over the Great Salt Lake without having to do a dive into the waters, so I'm trying to identify the airport. I have an airport right here, but I'm trying to see if that is Hill Air Force Base or Ogden. Not quite. I think that might be well, you have 2 airports right here, so I like to identify both of them before I commit. And we're going to do a little cheat. I'm going to find my airport, because we have 2 different runways at Ogden Hinckley. We've been 51 feet, or 51.95 is 17 and 35, so that's the, oh no, we're on the big runway, 8107, 8100 feet. So we are going for 224. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my course bug to 224, which is my actual runway heading for runway 21. 224. Let's slow down. Okay, let's go full prop, a little mixture, and slow down. Okay, what I did is I set my course to 224, and then I'm gonna switch this. And now I changed my, that is our actual runway heading. So that's the way the runway faces, which is probably this one right here. I think Hill Air Force Base runway runs this way. So this is probably our runway we want. Excuse me. Okay, we'll do our gumps. Bring our speed up a little bit. Because we are heavy, so we're going to want to be just a little bit quicker than we have been. I can't remember. Okay, we're right downwind, which they do a right downwind, because if we did a left downwind, would be right at the end of the runway of Hill Air Force Base. So they want you on this side. They basically, you're restricted to stay out of this area right here, because that's all Hill Air Force Base. You do not want to play that game. So we'll stay to this side. We're going to fly straight, make a turn, and land right here. So we're basically on our downwind, right, 2-1. Then we got a 2-knot tailwind right here, so we really don't have to. And see why I put this course runway heading in, because it pretty much gives us a mental picture. If I set my bug right there, we're flying the opposite way of our runway. That just gives a square box. And to turn to my runway, if I just bring the plane right around here nice and slow, it keeps an easy mental picture of where the runway is. Because if you're not familiar with the same airport, you got to keep in mind the degree where the runway is. You got to make your turn, you got to start dropping, and if you put that little line on your runway, it just takes one thing off your plate that you have to do. Okay, we're about the center of the runway, so we're going to go ahead, slow it down, and bring my map even closer. There's our airport. Okay, there's our wide arc. There's my first notch of flap. There's my second notch of flap. I'm going to keep my airspeed up just a little bit because we are a little bit heavy. The plane has to work a lot harder. You can tell it's going nose high on me, but I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna start coming down. Okay, I'm off of. I actually did something really stupid there that I just caught. I'm actually 2,000 feet above the runway instead of 1,000 feet. So we gotta come down 2,000 feet. I'm like, something don't seem right. What did I do? That's what happens when you talk. It's supposed to help you do the right thing, but apparently I should have been at 5,400 feet, not 6,500 feet. That's how.
Echo Romeo went 159er at 14. Cleared to land runway
Okay, we're cleared to land, runway 21.
Cleared to land runway 21 Tango Echo Romeo.
So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna extend our downwind a little bit. Drop. I'm right at the top of the arch too, so I can use 3 notch of flaps. We might use 3 notch of flaps today since I'm heavy as I am. Okay, this is where my little cheat for my runway heading is, because I'm still... So let's just go ahead and do a nice easy turn. And I'm just going to bring her nice and easy around 180 degree. So this is basically pattern altitude right here. So we've already dropped our 1,000 foot. I-15 right there off our nose. There's Hill Air Force Base right in front of us. You can actually see the 3 runways of Salt Lake. Okay, there's our runway. Runway 21, and you see 4 white lights, so we're still way too high. So I'm gonna bring back my power. Okay, we're gonna do our first 3 notch. So I'm full flaps right now. Just adjust it accordingly. Alright, there we got 1 red, so now I'm gonna, there we go, there's our glide slope. Come back on our power a little bit. Oh, there's I-15. I say there's no cars. I don't know what that big highway was. Okay, I drop below my... Add just a little bit of power. Oh, there's our... See the power lines? We'll just go up and over them like a crop duster. There's our windsock, just a little bit of wind off our nose. Got our 64 knot climbing to 65, so that's about where we want to be for landing. You can see I'm crapped just a little bit because of the wind. Okay, I'm not going to run it into the ground like I did last time.
Transporter from dispatch. Nice landing. Go to the next parking and put your parking brake on. I'll be in touch.
Okay, that's a pretty good little crosswind, 8 knot right off the nose, so I'm turning into the wind. You can see I can drop that wind.
Turn next taxiway.
I'm diving the nose of the plane down. In a small plane, when you taxi with winds, you got to really pay attention because the wind can just flip your plane over. Not 8 knots, but if you got a 10, 15, 20 mile an hour wind and you're not on your controls, the wind can get underneath your wing and cause you havoc. So my wind's coming from my left front, so I'm turning into the wind and diving into the wind. Okay.
Tango Echo Romeo, contact ground on 121.7.
Acknowledge.
121.7 Tango Echo Romeo.
Turn to ground. Request parking.
Ogden ground, Sierra Kilo Echo Echo Tango Echo Romeo, request taxi to parking.
Sierra Kilo Echo Echo Tango Echo Romeo, taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Charlie Delta.
Taxiing to general aviation parking via taxiway Charlie Delta Tango Echo Romeo.
Okay, we got clearance. Go down here and park where they skydive. Yeah, I'm gonna be glad to get away from this nose. Ah, we got a car coming towards me. Why is there a car on the taxiway? Well, I'm gonna just move over here. Bad boy, you shouldn't be there. Alright, here we got a bunch of guys standing around. Oh, there's our TBM 930 right there. We're gonna be in that bad boy soon. Okay. Definitely don't want to hit one of these planes with our wings. Ta-da! Boom.
Transporter. Cargo unloading in progress. Stand by, pilot.
Okay, let's take a peek outside. Got my flaps up. Bring the flaps up. Ah, the sun's just coming up. Well, let's say goodbye to the Cessna 182T. That was a pretty heavy flight too. We had her maxed out. Go ahead and shut our lights off. It's a good looking plane though. But now we gotta spend some money. Let's go into debt. That's the problem with aviation. The more you fly, you want to go bigger and better planes, and they become very expensive. We're going to be in the hundreds of thousands, and soon we're going to be spending millions. Oh, it's taking a long time to... There we go.
Transporter from dispatch. Cargo unloaded and checked. It is always a pleasure to work with you.
Okay, that was an easy, quick little flight. There we go. Okay, let's do our little log here. I didn't get all my bugs for some reason. Bonus security I lost somehow. Oh well, you don't win them all. I thought that flight went quite well. Okay, we made $4 grand just doing that because we had so much stuff put on there. Now I'm up to 485, so almost halfway to rank up and get out a second officer. Now we're going to do this multi-engine piston because we're going to go right here and look. There's a Baron G58 for 770. I thought there was two here. Nope, just one. Got a TBM for $2 million too. Ooh. Okay, so we need $770,000. Go to finance office and let's find us a good deal. Now we already have a loan for $242,000. So we could actually go for $1 million if we can find a really good interest rate and then just pay it back. There's $89 million. It's a little much. Okay, there's 1.4 mil for 8%. I think we could do better than that. There's 3.4 for 6. Okay, there's 2.8 for 2.5. And there's 2.1 for 8. Let's just go ahead and take this one. Okay. Now we're a multi-millionaire. Hell, we could buy both the TBM and the... But we're not going to do that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and buy that plane. Bought a brand new Baron G58. Let's go to the hangar. There it is. So, first thing we do, turn it into our plane. There it is. So this gives you kind of an oversight. We went from 3 passengers to 5. Our max payload was 867. Now we're at 2344. Our max fuel was 336, and now we're 1128. More expensive. Now we got 2 more. We got 2 engines instead of 1, so it's safer. I don't think we really need to keep this plane, so we're going to go ahead and sell that. Make us 328,000. Let's go ahead and put insurance on this. Okay, we bought us a plane. Now let's go back and adjust our finances, because now we got 2.5 million bucks. Let's go ahead and just get rid of this loan, pay it off. Sometimes you can make money at this. See, we're only 400,000, so let's go ahead and put 2 million back on that loan. We really don't want to be. This is real touchy. Yeah. There we go. How about 2,100,000? There. Our loan went up just a little bit. We still have $166,000. We are golden. And the bank's almost paid off. Okay. I think that'll do it for this flight. Our next time we get to show you a brand new multi-engine piston plane, and I will have to take a check ride and pass it so we can continue flying. If I don't pass it, I guess we'll just have to quit our job. So, okay, we'll see you next time. Bye.